Hi everyone, my name is Connor Blay, and thank you so much for joining me today for our video on our top 5 college essay types and how to write them. Our top 5 college essay types are definition essays, persuasive/argumentative essays, analytical essays, personal essays, and research papers. Before entering college, you'll likely have little or no experience with writing these types of essays, but that's why I'm here to guide you today. If you have any questions, just leave a comment and we'll get to them as soon as possible and answer them to the best of our ability. So without further ado, let's start off with the definition essay. The definition essay will ask you to define or explain a concept, a term, or a set of terms. And these essays can have a very general or a very specific focus. But no matter what, you're likely to at least write one of these during your time in college because they're very common. An example of a definition essay prompt could be define climate change based on your assigned reading. With any essay, one of the first things you'll want to do is dissect the prompt. This prompt has 2 parts, define climate change and based on your assigned reading. From this, we now know that we need to refer back to the assigned reading and pull out supporting evidence to use in the essay to define climate change. Be sure to always cite the source if you are quoting or paraphrasing a piece of text to avoid being accused of plagiarism. The essay should be structured in a typical way. Introduction, then thesis statement, then body, then conclusion. Your thesis statement should be the last sentence of your introduction and should state the definition of the term in question, which is in this case, climate change. Then the body of your essay will need to go further in depth to define the term, in this case, using supporting details from the reading to back up the definition of climate change. Finally, the conclusion will tie everything together by repeating the thesis and wrapping up in just a few sentences. Next up, let's talk about the persuasive, or as some like to call it, the argumentative essay. I prefer persuasive, so I'll be calling them that throughout this video. But anyway, so a persuasive essay prompt will ask you to respond to a topic with your point of view and convince the reader that your point of view is legitimate. So persuasive essay prompts typically focus on polarizing issues that people have a lot of different opinions on, and it's a very controversial kind of issue. So this will force you to take a side and argue for it. For example, your instructor could ask you to take a stance on the death penalty, gender equality, same-sex marriage, anything like that that is just, kind of controversial and argued about. With this type of essay, the first thing you're going to want to do is choose a side to argue. You can always choose a neutral stance, but I don't recommend doing that as this is the far more difficult path to go. When you choose a side and stick to it, either agree or disagree, it tends to make your argument a lot stronger. So after you've decided what stance to take, you need to develop your thesis, which clearly states your position on the topic. Of this essay, it might be tempting to write the phrases like I think or in my opinion, since the essay is very opinion-based, but it's important to avoid phrases like these as it weakens your argument, and you should try and speak of your thesis as if it's a fact, and your supporting details will support that claim as if it's a fact. And that makes your argument seem a lot stronger. Once you feel the body of your essay has enough evidence to support your position, then you can conclude the essay by repeating the thesis statement and then tying all of your claims together. So next up, we have the analytical essay. For analytical essay prompts, you will be asked to respond to a piece of writing through a critical lens. And what this means is that you will need to offer your thoughts and opinions on a piece of text, essentially. It could be a piece of text, or it could be, if you're taking a film class, it could be something like that too. You could be asked to analyze a documentary or something like that. It's just analyzing a piece, basically. So you could be asked to respond to a book, essay, article, academic journal, anything like that. The essay is commonly, this kind of essay is commonly assigned to an English major or a history major, but it could be assigned to any major, as I said. It could be, a film major or any type of major that requires critical thinking, which is a lot, all of them. So any major can get an analytical essay, but it's very common in English and history. Before you begin an analytical essay, you need to be sure to fully understand what you've read in the text or in whatever you're analyzing. So it's great to take notes, underline, highlight key words and phrases, write in the margins, reread the text, whatever you have to do to fully understand what you've read or seen. Organization is key in writing an excellent analytical essay, because once you've made sure to fully understand the text and all of its elements, you can form an opinion. Determine if you agree or disagree with what's been written and how it's been written. Then write your response. Like a persuasive essay, you should back up your claims with specific details and avoid "I think," in my opinion. So your thesis should express your viewpoint of the piece in a clear and concise way. Then use supporting details to back up your claim in the body paragraph by quoting, paraphrasing, and directly responding to the piece in question. So the conclusion then should repeat your thesis and tie all of your thoughts and opinions together. Now let's discuss the personal essay. So college professors and instructors have a lot of students, making it very difficult to remember every one of them by name and face. And as a result, they may ask you to write a personal essay describing you and your experience in the narrative style. Usually prompts for this kind of essay will come at the beginning of each semester, and you could be asked to talk about your summer or talk about something that makes you interesting or unique. Regardless, the point is to stand out to your professor or instructor so that they will have a name to put to your face. Sometimes it can be difficult to determine just how personal the personal essay should be. It's really up to you and what you're comfortable with sharing. And it's important to note that it might be required to share this essay with the class, as this is kind of a get to know you activity a lot of times in college. So don't write anything that's super top secret to you and you're not comfortable with sharing with strangers. So the best advice we can give you is just to have fun with this kind of essay. It's not as formal, it's pretty informal as the typical academic essay. And don't be afraid to use pronouns like I and my, as that is encouraged in the personal essay. And finally, we are at the most dreaded but most type of college essay, the research paper. You're likely to write many research papers while you're in college. So a research paper is just a kind of academic writing which requires you to do thorough research on a specific topic and present your findings. Most of the time, the essays will be worked on throughout the course of the semester, because they have a lot of stages and they require a lot of effort and time. So the stages of writing a research paper are: 1, choosing a topic; 2, doing research and creating a bibliography; 3, creating a thesis; 4, writing a rough draft; and 5, writing a final draft. For a research paper, your professor or instructor may assign you a topic or give you the opportunity to choose a topic to research. If you are given the opportunity to choose your own topic, choose wisely, because this will define your essay. Is choosing your topic, it'll define how your essay turns out. If you choose something that is interesting to you and relates to the class, then you're likely to do more research. If you're interested in learning more, you're likely to perform better on this kind of essay if you choose something that's interesting to you. But once you have your topic, you can start researching, and there are a wide variety of academic sources that you can utilize from your school's library database. These are perfect for research papers, and you'll want to make sure to connect with a librarian to learn about how to properly use your school's database to its full potential. A lot of times, instructors or professors will do this for you. They might take you to the library themselves during class hours, but not always. So if you are in a class where you are not taken to the library and introduced to the librarian, then you'll have to take it upon yourself to do it. It's a good idea to. You don't have to, but it'll definitely help in the process. If you've never used a database, you should get familiar with the process of using a database and finding academic sources. So common sources that you'll find within a library database are academic journals, newspaper articles, books, ebooks, etc. As you find sources, you should make citations for your bibliography. A bibliography is just a list of sources that you have referred to in your essay and that you have researched and will be referring to in your paper. So check the essay prompt, make sure that you are citing in the required format. The most common citation formats that you'll use in college are probably APA and MLA, but also Chicago is common. It's really up to the subject and the professor's preference. So once you've completed your research and your bibliography, you should craft your thesis. Make it a strong argument for the information that you're conveying. Then you should complete a rough draft, give that to your professor or instructor for feedback, and wait until they give you feedback, and then reshape your essay based on the feedback that they gave you. They'll likely tell you to tweak some things in the thesis or provide more supporting details to back up your thesis. Not every first draft is perfect, so just listen to your instructor and you're likely to get a better grade. Finally, when writing the final research paper, use quotes and paraphrases from your sources and cite them properly. And then repeat the thesis and tie together all of your claims in the conclusion. So that concludes my presentation. And if you have questions, again, just leave them in the comments section and we'll do our best to answer them as soon as possible. And with that, I just want to thank you for watching this video, and I hope it's been helpful. If you would like some more help, you can visit our Essay Writing Center, which we'll link for you in the comments as well. Here you can find general essay writing tips, admissions essay writing tips, scholarship essay writing tips, and sample essays by subject. So that'll help guide you in your essay writing in college, and it's definitely a great resource to use. Thank you guys again for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.